a six or a cold ones, and whatever else trips your trigger, we're about to embark on a Dynasty road trip. That's right, we'll tool around the back roads of fantasy football land, taking in the sights of 10 and 12-man Dynasty leagues. But leave your keys at home, because here's your drivers, Ron and Jonah.
Yes, indeed. It is us. And you know how Dynasty Road Trip works. Jonah and I sit at the fantasy bar, and we have a couple of drinks while we talk about fantasy, because fantasy. But yeah, what you got on the docket there today, Jonah?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I put somebody in the trunk. Yeah, the old trunk stash. So I believe he goes by the name of Derek. Derek, you want to come on out of the trunk?
I guess so. I kind of liked it in there, but yep, I'm here for this one. I'm not totally sure what we're getting into, but I'm sure I can ride along.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you enjoy the inflatables in the trunk?
Yeah. They really kept me calm, you know.
Yeah, that was from a different road trip to a nursing home.
Yeah, so we basically, like I said, we sit at the fantasy bar here and we have a couple of drinks and just talk about some random things before we take our road trip through fantasy football land. And I know Jonah had a topic which we recorded the other day and it was really bad. I was super high, and if you can believe it, I was rambling and incoherent. Yeah. So, and I coughed all over the whole thing. So this time I switched to the vape pen. So I think we'll probably still be rambling and incoherent, but now I won't cough. So we'll just call that a win.
What's your drink of choice this evening, Ron?
Well, I went with the old Miller Lite. Mojitos were too much work. I can't properly podcast and focus and shake drinks. So
it's a no muddle Monday.
Yeah, you got to know your limits.
Yeah. Derek, are you partaking this evening?
Yep, I got a tall boy.
Oh,
High Life, actually.
God damn!
I prefer the bottles, but I had to grab the tall boys.
Nicely done. I'm doing a Four Roses small batch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've actually never had Four Roses.
It's a very smooth whiskey. I would recommend if you want to venture into just into the top shelf world. A bottle of Four Roses is about $22.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
spent a lot more on a lot worse, probably.
Yeah, it's a solid drinker.
I did too. You rode with him in the trunk. So we were talking trades. That was just yesterday, wasn't it? Well, we decided to one of the best trades we could do would be to trade in that episode for this one.
Yes.
Yeah, Derek, first of all, just so myself and the listeners know, are you involved in any Dynasty football leagues?
Yes, I'm in two. I'm in Ron's, and I'm in one I just made with my friends.
Yeah. So he's in that 12-man, which I often mention. And when I mentioned that I got out of that flea flicker league, the league Derek set up is the one that I replaced it with. So I believe that's another 10-man.
That's a 10-man, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
getting his commish feet wet.
Yeah, you are.
Yep.
So this will be great because we wanted to bring in a third person's opinion because as Ron and I spoke yesterday, we realized we kind of had very similar opinions on the trade spot. So I think I'm going to do what we did, and I'm going to break it into our 4 sections that we deem different times and types of trades during the year. And Derek, then I think we're going to maybe send it over to you and get your opinions on those times, and then we'll chime in with how what our take is. So to start that out,
let's identify what those trade seasons are, so to speak.
Well, I would say we could call this time period we're currently in kind of the dead zone of football, where the only value that changes with trades. So we'll say this period is from about 2 weeks after the NFL draft ends and you've gotten your rookie dynasty drafts out of the way.
Yep.
Till the first preseason football game. Okay. So that's one slot that we deem
mostly summer. Yeah.
Yeah. Mostly summertime. The second slot is obviously just that now 3 preseason football games when you're starting to see the first action from these younger players. The third chunk is the regular season. And then the fourth chunk is the end of the regular season up into your Dynasty rookie draft.
Okay.
So let's just start where we are
there,
right now.
yeah.
Let's start in the dead zone.
All right, yeah.
Right now, Ron, I think I would throw this out there, and Derek can answer this. What do you do, Derek, right now with any information that comes out on players at this time of year, as far as trade?
I take it with a major grain of salt. I really don't. Really don't take it into any like 100% fact until we really start to get into it.
100%.
That is exactly our policy on the Dynasty Road Trip podcast.
And that's with every type of information, injuries, everything.
Yeah,
100%. The only thing that really changes the value right away is obviously a season-ending injury.
Yeah,
but those players don't really get dealt unless you're a guy who's like just totally rebuilding, and you see an opportunity to be like, oh, well, I guess I could grab that guy for a year from now because his value is so low.
And then
rarely does that happen.
And then maybe like another exception is when kind of if a big guy gets moved to another team and his value either goes up or down, you can maybe kind of try to deal him or something like that. But yeah, there's really not too much you can do.
Yeah, and we've covered it before on here that this time of year, it's a lot of beat writers looking to just fill column space and write a story. And like Jonah's, we've referenced it before, but I'll bring it back again. Jonah's gone to some camps and basically said, yeah, a guy, they'll be running a drill where they'll be running the same play over and over. And if this guy gets 4 passes and he catches 3 of them, the writer turns around and talks about how this guy is absolutely killing it in camp and he's bringing everything thrown to him in. And it's like, you got 4 balls yesterday, Chief.
Yeah. That's
and I've been to probably like 5 training camps for the Packers from like when I was a kid. And they'll have wide receivers just stand in a line and catch balls for an hour. And it's like, really, what are you going to write a story on that? I mean, there's not really much you can do.
There's not. And they have to write.
Yeah, they do.
We talked a little bit too how the thing that I hate is writers can overinflate the value of a guy that maybe you were thinking about trying to move at this time by an article coming in, which is always a bummer. When we used an example of Treylon Burks is a guy out there that just got like some news this week that he looks great in OTs, and Ryan Tannehill is always throwing to him. Well, if you were like someone who thought maybe I'd trade for for Treylon Burks in the offseason, that beat writer just ruined it for you because he inflated his value.
Yeah, his value has gone up now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like to call the LaVisca Chenault effect, because this thing happened. This thing happened about 5-6 years ago, where Chenault in camp had one of those days where he was looking amazing, and somebody wrote a story that basically he looked like the next Andre Johnson. And in all 3 of my dynasties, dudes instantly were on trying to trade for him. It's like, because there's like we touched on in the episode that we didn't keep. There's not a lot of sites for fantasy info anymore. It's basically all aggregated.
Right.
I actually stick to forums now. They really, because they don't really write articles. They kind of just like point out, hey, there's this guy doing this guy doing this. They put out stats mainly. And the Chenault thing that lasted like 3 years. I swear, every off season for like 3 years, they're like, Chenault's going to be a monster.
This is the year.
I believe that this is the year that Chenault becomes a monster. Personally, who's he?
Okay.
Who's he? Is he? Did he? Where is he?
Is he on the Jags still?
No.
Last I knew, he was in Carolina. I'm not even sure that he's still there.
Well, this can't go. I need to find out where Chenault is.
Yeah. I mean, come on. We can't go forward until we've got this put to bed. This is too important to speculate on.
He's with Carolina.
Well, look at that. I'm fucking A. I still know things.
Yeah, he exploded onto the scene in Carolina with 27 catches last year.
Top tier.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy though? How old do you think LaVisca Chenault is?
25.
He's 24 years old.
Oh, I was going to say 24, but I thought he's been around too long for that.
That's been happening to me a lot lately, where I'm like, this guy's got to be 30. Well, and I look and he's like 26, 27. You're like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, he's another one of those that got drafted at 20. So at the end of his rookie deal, he was still like 24. So it's, yeah.
He is Laviska Shenault Jr., so he ages slower.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That is fact.
Yeah, I love when they do that. Like, there's a Laviska Shenault Sr. out there that I need to differentiate from.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was still
that's
his
just
dad.
his dad. Like, hey, remember, I made this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely had sex one time.
Yeah, that's true. It's probably true, yeah.
Let's move on to the preseason, the shortest trading period, I think.
Yeah.
You know, for me, preseason is like the time to, if you want to part with a rookie that you've grabbed in the third round, this is the time to do it. Like, if you got someone who'll jump on the hype train of a guy getting 20 carries for 85 yards in the fourth quarter of the second preseason game, and you can get a second round pick for him next year, go for it. That's how I treat preseason.
I guess,
preseason is very volatile because, like you said, somebody gets a couple of those carries late and all of a sudden they shoot up there, and every league's got that one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he broke a 60-yard catch, and this guy will go up. Find that guy in your league.
Yeah.
That is my advice to you. Somebody always is willing to overreact.
Mhm.
Get a hold of them.
There's
Yes.
always
also you can turn guys into trade bait for even older guys that for some reason they get more reps or whatever and they do well, they get the ball more.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, a lot of times people who don't really know any better, they're like, well, he's going to be the starter. He's clearly going to be in there. It's like, well, now you can kind of bait him a little bit in the trade block.
Well, I like to reference like the craziness that happened last year with Josh Jacobs, right?
Yes, that's exactly the guy
I could not believe that. I was thinking that the whole time.
Right? So it's like, oh my God, he played in the first game. What does it mean?
He's got all the touches. That means they're trying to get rid of him.
Right. And then it turned out he was phenomenal last year.
No, they were just going to give him all the touches.
And I hate him for that because I drafted him 2 years in a row, those years before, and he didn't do much. And then of course, he blows up.
Yeah. Well,
another guy like 24. Jesus.
There'll be a guy this preseason that does the exact same thing. It goes the opposite direction. Some team it'll be like Delvin Cook in Minnesota. They'll be like, oh, he got 20 carries his first game. It's going to be Josh Jacobs. And then he will not play.
I'm thinking like Cordell Patterson.
Well,
that'll be him this season.
He's 38. So,
I mean, they're still running him hard.
I thought he was 48.
They're going to convert him to punter by the end of the season.
It's the only thing he hasn't played yet.
Yeah.
He's just going to be the guy holding the ball, too. He's not actually going to be punting.
Yeah. So, I mean, preseason really, it sounds like we're all on the same page. The value's all over the place.
Super volatile.
And you can make your break. You could get a great trade in that area, but it's kind of hit or miss.
One thing I would recommend looking at is if you do see a rookie, like a 5th round, 6th round rookie running back who does really well in preseason, not a terrible time to try to trade for the veteran in front of him. That always scares off people. So I'm going to say like a Joe Mixon type player. If one of those Bengals running backs, young guys, looks really great in camp, it's going to make a Joe Mixon owner a little bit nervous, and you might be like, I'll give you like a 2nd round for him, or like here's his job.
That's kind of that trade bait thing I'm thinking about, where it's just like they're overthinking it, really.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move into the regular season. What we know about the regular season is you're trading in the regular season 100% depends on the time of the season and how your team is looking about week 7 or 8. So
I would agree. Right about there is where you need to make a change if it's not working.
Yeah, how your roster is built, where you're shallow, where you're deep, and where you're positioned for playoff runs. You don't need an Adam Thielen if you're out of the fucking picture. Of course, you won't get a sack of oranges for him, but that's that kind of guy.
Some people panic too much and they get rid of people they don't need to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happens a lot when they get to around 6 or 7. They're like, I'm not going to make playoffs, and they get rid of someone they probably shouldn't.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. We reference this in the cut recording as well as in our main Dynasty League, the Nasty, I was basically in last place pretty much all season. But when I went down my roster, it was just young guy after young guy. So people were either injured or it just made no sense for me to move anyone under 30 on my roster. So I just had to sit there, hold pat, and eat it all season and enjoy my number one pick. Yeah,
I've done that to a fault sometimes.
Yeah,
I've definitely done that.
Jonah goes the opposite way.
I've
gotten rid of great players. Like when I first started Dynasty and I didn't know any better, I've gotten rid of great players that probably still had 4 or 5 years just because I thought I could maybe get into playoffs. And it's like, why would I do that? I just got rid of a guy who's solid.
I'm Dirk. I have a tendency to be a pick mover. I have a tendency when I'm in a good spot to just move as many picks as I need to try to win the championship. It paid off this year. It had been too long of a dry spell in the Nasty. It had been almost 9 years since I'd won the championship. And I own, over the 3 years here, I own 3 third-round picks is all I had left in all my drafts. I pushed in all the chips, and I came with the championship, but I went for it.
The old Rams move. Okay.
Fuck them picks.
It was, and Ron and I were talking yesterday. It was like, well, now I'm in a position where I look at my roster, and I love trading, and I really cannot trade this year. Like, top to bottom, I just filled every slot I possibly could, and it kind of bums me out because I'm like, well, my team's as good as it can possibly be, and now I can't trade, and I would rather trade than win another championship, which is the stupidest thing, but that's Dynasty football.
You could do what I do, and you set up 2 trades, and they got to work in a sequence to actually work.
Oh, yeah.
But that's always fun to try, but it's very hard for it to work.
Yeah. It definitely is.
I've tried it a few times, and it's never worked for me. I've tried it a few times.
The 3-way trade, the elusive 3-way trade, I think I pulled off 2. Ron, I think you were part of one.
I think I was in at least one of them.
Yeah, I think that was...
no, I was in both.
Yeah, who was that running back for the Cowboys that was in that deal?
DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a situation where I was actually in a good place with my roster, but still at the end of his prime, Shady McCoy was on the block, and I had okay, I got to check on this. By the way,
Shady McCoy.
Yeah. There was a Monty Ball involved in that deal as well.
Oh, was he in that one? Oh,
yeah. I forgot about that guy. What happened to him?
That's not even my favorite of our 3-way trades. When we first got the Nasty started, some foolish general manager cut Peyton Manning after the neck thing. So I basically held on to him for a fucking year on my bench because we didn't even have IR yet. So I just hung on to him for a year and traded him to the Broncos fan coming back in. So
that's me, and that's the last time I won a championship.
Yeah, I traded him and Garcon. So you're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing for like the summer trades too, is you sometimes if you don't really need a position, you draft players for trade value, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing you can do.
Yeah, 100%. that's one way to, that's how do you approach the draft too. That's a big strategy. Do you take the top talent or do you look more at your need? And I think the consensus I'm reading online is everybody says take the talent. I
don't do that always, but I have.
Right. I'm too beholden to my needs. So
I've just, I've definitely changed over the years, Ron. You can echo this. I used to be just rookie crazy, like young guy. Like I couldn't help myself. Yeah. I would take a great player and trade for a guy who had the potential to become the player that I was trading.
Right.
Oh, but he's 2 years younger and he might be just as good.
Well, in 2 years, maybe he'll be as good as the guy that I'm getting rid of now.
Right. And then, but I should probably give up some more to do that.
Yeah.
So that probably is a great segue into the time when picks have the highest value, the spot between the Super Bowl and your dynasty trade, where picks values are inflated amazingly. It is the time where if you don't have a guy locked in with your pick, my gosh, you can get better value than what you have sitting in front of you.
100%. That's what I did this year in Ron's league. I took my first round pick and got a way better value than I'd ever get in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, what's there? I mean, that's Ron and I were talking about, like, second year players are easy to trade for.
Yes.
Oh, for sure. So especially if they're not seeing much field.
Right. Right. So like snag those guys up at that time in the draft, right? When a guy's like, I'm trying to think of an example. I guess Treylon Burks is that example for me.
Yeah, that's a perfect one.
That's a perfect one. Like you could probably get him in this year's draft in the maybe trading away an early second, mid-second round.
I was going to say a 2.
Right. I'm going to grab another beer, boys. I'll be right back.
Yep.
You'd be like, Tennessee's a mess. You don't. I'll take him off here. I'll deal with that lottery ticket. Let me scratch it off.
Yeah, I'll give you the second round pick just because I want the taxi squad bonus.
Yeah, and it was like we mentioned the other day as well. Yeah, the picks do gain value, but it's not the whole window of the pre-draft. It's literally while the draft is going is when those picks skyrocket. So like you nailed, if you don't have a guy that you're targeting when you come up and you're like, I can take it or leave it, I always look to move out there.
Yep. Yeah, I like it.
I mean, if there's a guy you love, fuck it, pull the trigger. But like I said, if you're sitting on the clock, the asshole in front of you just took the guy you'd been waiting on for hours.
Yep.
Fuck it, I'm out. Give me 2 or 3 picks and I'll leave.
So I guess to button this all up before we hop in the car and take a road trip together, the dead time we're in right now, pay little to no attention to any news.
Yes.
If a guy's done for the season, that's really the only guy that you have solid information on. Preseason, feel free to sell high on the guys who perform well. See if the guys ahead of those players are available at a lower price. In season, you're either a buyer or a seller come week 7 or 8. And the spot between the Super Bowl and the Dynasty draft, my God, find the guy who's draft crazy and get value. You guys all agree?
I agree with that 100%.
Awesome.
Well, we should probably tell our new co-pilot here how this works. See, what we're going to do is we're going to finish off here at the fantasy bar because I just got a new drink, so I guess I'm going to take this with me. But what we do is we pay up at the bar, and then we go get in the car, and we drive around the entire damn NFL, and we take a road trip through every damn team. And that's how it works.
Yeah, here's what I'm thinking, Ron. I think we let Derek climb out of the trunk.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull that. What is that, safety string?
Yeah, that. I think we'll probably have to take the Rosie O'Donnell statue out of the back seat to fit you.
Whoa. But I didn't agree with that.
Well, we can strap her to the top. She usually works pretty well as a strap-on sort of gal.
Well, I think we better pay our tab and get the fuck out of here.
It's time to settle up at the bar and the bathroom. Top off that tank and grab one for the road, because we're about to take you around the league on a Dynasty road trip.
Indeed we are. So, Jonah, why don't you tell the guest what exactly we're going to be road tripping through today?
We got kind of a fun one tonight. We're gonna go around the league, and we're gonna talk about each team's potential sleeper or bust. Every team's got those guys you're kind of thinking about, wondering, could someone step up? Is someone's time over? Is there a new offensive coordinator, a new coach? Situations change even with the same players. So essentially, we're going to run down team by team and see if anyone has a sleeper, a bust, and then we'll move on to the next location.
Oh, well, what order are you going to go through today? We going alphabetical? We going by division? We going by conference? How are we doing this?
This is since we've got someone sitting in the back seat today, we're going to let them make the call. We're usually deciding the direction. So, Derek, you want to go AFC, NFC? You want to go start with East or West? You want to go alphabetical? What's your pleasure?
Ooh, let's go alphabetical.
All right. I appreciate that. Now I have to find a list of teams in alphabetical order, which would be fun for me.
I got it. I guess the first one would technically be 49ers, right?
Well, I don't know. It's a curveball.
Oh, we're going by the number?
Oh, boy.
4 precedes the alphabet? Is that what we're saying?
Wow.
I'm shocked, Cotton.
Well, when I brought it up, that was the first thing that popped up, so.
Yeah, no, this is good.
All right.
Here's my pain. I'm having a hard time finding
I was
the
gonna say, we
site
didn't
where they're just
specify
listed in order.
alphabetical by city or by team name, because these are different things. I think Derek got
there's
us
a lot of curveballs here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going city.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm already lost. And tell you what, to make
I'm
this
gonna
more-
have to do drugs about it.
Yeah. To make this.
I already have the list up. The first one's Arizona Cardinals.
This is great. You can steer us around today.
Perfect.
You can be the GPS.
Good, because I just plan on drinking and smoking. So
I never
directions
get to
are
do
on
this.
you.
Yeah,
Since I'm-
I have 2 monitors, so it's easy for me.
Oh my gosh, 2 monitors in the back seat. I'm not even going to pay attention to the road.
Yeah, why?
great.
You
Why
don't need
would
to.
you? Yeah,
I got it.
I
So-
feel like I'm in a Tesla tonight.
it's all done by robot now.
It's great. All right, AI. Well, Arizona it is. Man, that is
Wow.
that is a
That's
a bust. That to me the thing that pops in my head right away is the whole team's a goddamn bust.
Yeah, let's take the whole thing and just shove it into the bust bucket, because
Right.
the only thing I could say as a caveat for that is maybe there's some boom potential out of McBride, their backup tight end, because Ertz will probably begin the season on the shelf.
Yeah.
But we're talking second year tight end, so boom on that particular position is that's a relative term. So
Yeah. Me personally, I hate this team offensively. I don't see them getting better. They brought in a defensive-minded head coach, and I feel like their mission is to drive Kyler Murray's value into the ground so they can justify
getting
moving
rid
on
of him
from him.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Derek, anything else for you?
Ooh. I mean, I think more. When does Kyler Murray come back? That's a good question there too.
I'm not even
Mid-season.
sure. Oh, is
Mid-season.
it that long?
I
Oh,
think so.
Oh yeah,
man.
yeah. Let's
And
put
then-
the whole thing in the fucking
all right.
bust
Well,
bucket.
I'm gonna say James Conner's probably their best bet on that team,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
they will feed him until he breaks. That's true.
and then probably whoever their slot corner is will get all the dump passes.
Mm-hmm. Rondell Moore, but that's the
probably
thing. Like,
Rondell.
we saw Marquise Brown, Rondell Moore, and Greg Dortch last year without DeAndre Hopkins, and
not
none
really.
of them took. I mean, Marquise Brown started out hot, but
I'm going to go out on a limb and say they had one of the worst play callings I've seen in a long time.
Mhm.
Their play calling did not suit their team whatsoever.
no.
All right. Well, that sounds like a bust to me. What do we got next on the alphabet?
That would be Atlanta Falcons.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Ooh. Anyone want to take a stab first? I do have a
God.
sleeper on this one.
No, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are going to get opportunities. Ritter, chief among them. They've got a new running back, but the expectations are there for the running back. So I hesitate to call that a boom. Ritter, I mean, I guess if you got him at a good enough value, maybe. Drake London doesn't interest me a whole lot. So it's basically Pitts. But again, expectations are up there. I don't know. I'm out.
I don't see any bust because I don't see any players that have performed at a level that they could, like Kyle Pitts is jury's still out on him. So you would have called him a bust last year. So he can't.
Yeah.
Can you really be a bust 2 years in a row? He can only go up from last year.
Right. I need to get
Yeah.
back to where he was.
I'm a Desmond Ritter fan.
Me too.
25% own share in him.
I drafted him.
That's my sleeper. A guy that I think you could, if you wanted to do a deal with a guy that had Desmond Ritter, I think you could just throw him in to be like, yeah, I'll do this deal if you throw in Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, I've been shopping him and getting nothing.
Yeah. I think he's got to be the little throw on at the end to sweeten the pot. But yeah,
right.
that's my only guy.
I will say I agree with you. I drafted him from Cincinnati in my Dynasty. I don't know why. I just saw something in him.
Yeah.
I think he's good. And I think if he does well, Drake London's bound to do well.
Yeah.
And
I
I'll
agree.
say that.
I have an NFL comparison for Desmond Ritter. I feel like he could go the Dak Prescott route.
Oh.
That's just now. Here's the thing: that is going to be a very, very run heavy team. very run heavy, so Desmond Ridder is not going to have to do too much like other young quarterbacks get forced into.
Yeah, that favors him in terms of where people perceive his value, but as far as the actual production and numbers, they're not going to look real great. But
And a little notch in Falcons Sue's, if he gets hurt, Heineke's the backup.
Oh, man.
And I love that guy.
Yeah.
I don't care, but he can still. He'll get you guys targets, is what
he's
I mean.
going to turn into Ryan Fitzpatrick, where
He will
really
turn
is.
into targets.
back up on 10 teams over 10 years.
I don't hate Heineke, but I believe that's German for your season's over.
Yeah, basically. Or, I mean, he'll at least get you to even.
Yeah. Oh,
Heineke,
we're doing.
Heineke's
doing
German
so well.
for cap friendly.
Yeah, exactly. All right, what's next on our list?
Next is Baltimore Ravens.
Ooh.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not really interested in much of that. I said Andrews.
Well, I guess I'll just say OBJ bust.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess technically. See, I don't consider him. What's he, like 29? Hasn't played a full season in how long? I don't consider him good enough to be considered a bust. But that's.
I will say, if they use him like the Rams did, he could be decent.
Well,
he
they
did
won't
look good.
because they're the Ravens.
I agree.
So
I agree.
You can start every conversation about the Ravens to say this wide receiver will be a bust, and then insert every name of every Raven wide receiver.
Except for Derek
And-
Mason. Don't you say a bad word about him. I won't tolerate
They're
it.
also cursed at running back, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to say Dobbins is a sleeper, but I don't know if he's a sleeper because they didn't do anything in the draft. He's kind of
and Ravens also run 3 running backs, so
they do. So
Right.
I don't really,
I just want to stay out of there unless your name is Andrews.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I do believe
That's it.
Andrews will have a
That's
good
it.
season, but you can't call him a sleeper. He's a top 5.
No, he's
No,
not a sleeper,
he's-
and I don't
he's
think
a
he'll
guarantee.
be a bust. Yeah, he's top
Yeah.
10 tight end regardless. He missed 4 games.
Yeah. Let's get away from Baltimore like a
Please.
bad.
and then it goes
yeah.
straight into Buffalo Bills. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say I felt like the fentanyl of the NFL being Baltimore. Ugh. Well,
I don't have anything stronger than the tuba. All I can give you.
That's why fentanyl's in Baltimore. Let's see here.
I
gotta
feel
get
like
to
we
the
can do
picks.
the same thing we do every year and
I will say
that third wide receiver's due for a huge bump in targets.
There was a rookie last year by the name Khalil Shakir who will slot into that role. Okay, I'm going to give you my sleeper for the Buffalo Bills.
Don't you say it.
It's not even my sleeper for the Buffalo Bills is DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh.
okay, yeah, they've been talking about him going there.
Yeah, that's I'm
They've
going
also
to throw
been
it out there.
Baltimore too. They said that too.
Yeah, that's silly. You don't sign Odell and DeAndre and
Yeah, when you
I mean, how much was
typically do
Odell?
nothing.
5 cents?
yeah,
They
it's
paid
true.
him way too much.
I didn't see how much it was.
I think he got between 8 and 10 million.
What do you guys? How do you feel about that backfield? You got James Cook and Damian Harris and Naeem Hines and Latavius Murray.
Wow.
It feels similar to the Baltimore thing where roll the dice. Actually, it feels like New England. Roll the dice. and
Yeah,
pick a
yeah.
guy.
But they were using Hines as a kick return guy. I
Mhm.
think Harris is probably your best bet, or Cook.
Yeah.
My initial thought was when they let they got rid of Moss and then they let Singletary walk and then they bring in a thumper back. I'm thinking, oh, they're going to have him between they'll
But
do Cook
in
between
the
the
end,
20s,
It's
That's a
the
lot of
Buffalo
gambling.
Bills. They're throwing the ball.
Yeah.
which is why I like Cook because he's got the option to get the receptions.
And this is why I think DeAndre Hopkins has got to end up there because Gabe Davis, has never filled the playoff role. Stephon Diggs is pissed.
Yeah,
how
but
much?
can you
How much
support
cap
two?
do they have though?
None.
They can't have much.
None. Yeah.
but
Like,
can
how are you
get-
going to pay Hopkins?
Well, just
Right.
knowing the NFL, if you want to pay for a guy, you
can make
money
it,
around.
Yeah,
Josh
you make it
Allen,
happen. You make it happen.
Right, but I'm more.
But it's
I'm more,
like how much?
I'm more concerned that you can support him and Diggs in an offense where they aren't both super pissed off about targets at the end of every game. I
think-
Yeah.
think you're asking
Much
for a
worse at
locker
that.
room issue there.
I'm I'm not 100% sure that I know. Hot take. The Stephon Diggs saga might not make it into the regular season.
Sizzling.
Might not.
I want to say this: the Bills are not going to move on from Josh Allen. That's not happening.
No.
And they've come up short in the playoffs a few years in a row now. They've got to have an offensive scapegoat. Stephon Diggs, I know he's a great player, but if you could get DeAndre Hopkins, it could happen. Saying stranger things have happened.
For me, I think the tight end that they drafted, I think he's going to slot in more of a fly. I think you're going to try to use him more like Kelsey.
Yeah.
Apparently, he is not the superior of the two blockers for the tight end. So look for Knox to be more in line and flex out. What is it? Kincaid? Is that who they took?
Yeah. Yep.
I guess technically I would call him a sleeper because I don't think they plan on using him exactly like a traditional tight end.
Yeah,
I do see roster-wise, they look like they're moving towards a little bit more run.
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that takes the pressure off.
They want Allen to not have to run as much. So that Damian Harris signing right there, that's going to cost Josh Allen about 5 red zone touchdowns.
Well, and then they have Latavius Murray, who's always good. I don't care. He's always good off the bench.
He is 107 years old.
Yeah, no, he's the Cordell Patterson of the Bills.
But you put him in, and he works every time.
I know. Yeah, I agree. He's one of those people you never want to start him in any format, but he's a great football player.
Yeah. I think
great football player.
He went to the Saints one year, and the guy in front of him got hurt, and I just put him in, and he got me like 20 points 2 weeks in a row.
He had a great run for the Broncos last year, a few weeks.
Well, it might have been then too.
Yeah, as much as I love Latavius, I think we better get moving through the alphabet.
Yep.
Let's. What do we got next on the
Carolina Panthers?
I'll say DJ Shark is a sleeper for me.
Okay,
I'll take that. Bryce Young's a sleeper for me. I think he will do well.
I'm gonna say that every year one of those top few quarterbacks is a bust, and I'm picking Bryce Young to be that bust. That's me.
All right. I would pick. I'll pick CJ Stroud then.
Okay. Okay. You want to move on from the Panthers?
I do very badly.
Yeah, that one's pretty straightforward. Bengals next. Yeah,
I wanted to call their wide receiver core a cornucopia of shit, but I think there might be a worse one. So we'll say that.
Oh, there is
for sure.
Who's next?
Cincinnati.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a sleeper, but I really like Irv Smith Jr. here for Cincinnati.
Fair.
Just age, but can he stay healthy?
This is like the third year in a row somebody has said that about Irv.
He won't do anything.
You'll say he won't do anything.
Okay. I say it will be nothing.
He's another guy that I'd want to buy in on, but I've done that too many years. I've lost hope that he's going to be what we hope he is.
So I've just never had hope in him.
I've got Irv as my sleeper, and you guys got him as your bust.
Yep.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, I'd say move on from that too. Cleveland Browns.
Wait, did we miss? Unless I don't know the alphabet, did we miss the Chicago Bears?
No, they're after the Browns.
Not in my alphabet.
Not in my alphabet either.
I'm doing cities.
Yeah, Chicago.
CLEC. I mean, that's what they have it in this. Oh, they actually have these backwards.
They fucked it up.
Oh, I see. They actually messed up on the site and put 6 before 8. All right. I'm going to have to pay attention to that.
That's their fault, yeah.
That's okay. Well, my bust is the website you're on.
It is a bust, yeah. No, I see what they do now. They don't have them perfectly straight. Okay.
That's okay. It's Pride Month.
So, yeah, Chicago Bears.
That's right. So I'm drinking a Bud Light, damn it.
Okay, we'll go to the Bears. I mean, my sleeper is everyone wants to fight against this guy and say he's not going to be a sleeper. I'm a big Khalil Herbert fan.
I like him.
They brought in Foreman. They drafted a guy in the 5th, but I like Herbert. And bust-wise, you guys like.
I think DJ Moore's not a sleeper, but he's there, and I think he's going to do well there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Fields. I just don't. I think they're trying to give him every weapon. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't.
You don't?
Not from the passing standpoint. I mean, I think he can run, but then once you give him wide receivers, now he's supposed to stop running and throw. And I think we're going to find out this year. At least we'll know.
Yeah. Well, I'm not really sure about their offensive line, but
I haven't looked into it.
I'm only in on Bears players that run with the ball because last year they were first in the run.
I totally get it.
But if DJ Moore can be converted to fullback, I'm all into DJ.
If you had to pick a wide receiver there, though, DJ Moore, Mooney, or the guy from
Claypool.
or Claypool. Which one of those three would you pick?
Well,
I'm going for Moore. Yeah.
I would pick Moore too. Yeah, that's what I mean. It has to be him.
25% own share in Mooney and can't get a sack of rocks out of him.
Yeah.
So
I would feel really good that at 25 catches on the season, DJ Moore will far exceed any other wide receiver's reception total.
No, I'm just saying if you had to pick those, because those are three good wide receivers.
They are.
Agreed.
Which backs up Ron's point of we don't feel good about any of those wide receivers. We're hesitant, so the bust, in my opinion, also would be Justin Fields for those wide receivers, but he might actually put up decent fantasy points.
I will say, I think Bears are also a victim of terrible play calling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm wrong, but my gut says he's not doing it. I guess
flubberbus.
So now it's Cleveland, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
Alrighty. So Browns.
Okay.
I have a baseline rule that I've had going back 20 years that I try to stay out of Cleveland at all costs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some production there. Have that.
If I do, I go right to Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
If I have to.
Right.
I Chubb is solid. I don't know if you put him in the sleeper bust category.
I wouldn't put him in either, but that's who I would go.
He's going to be because he's going to be solid and equally productive.
Elijah Moore is there now.
That's the guy. That's who I would gamble on because the price is low, and why not? I mean, really, what would you give up to get Elijah Moore in a trade right now?
I wouldn't pay much.
Not much, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it would cost much to get him in a deal.
I mean, a 3 is going to be super high.
I will say, him and Amari Cooper built like Watson and Amari Cooper had a little bit of success towards the end.
Yep. You got Njoku. I really like Njoku.
I was going to say he might be a guy I would buy low on, but I won't. I wouldn't call him a.
He blocks a lot, though, I think.
Yeah. So I guess Cleveland, we're saying Elijah Moore is the only guy that can perform above what you'd expect.
Yeah. I would say Nick Chubb could, too.
Yeah.
Now that Hunt is gone, yeah.
You got a Chubb.
But I'd say that's the only other guy I'd really bet on.
All right, let's move on.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
This one's easy for me. I got two sleepers.
Well, I mean, I can't put Pollard in the sleeper category
we've
anymore.
been on Pollard.
Turnip.
For years.
Turnip is awesome. That guy is amazing, and they have Brandon Cooks now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Brandon Cooks.
For bust, I'm going to say the entire tight end position.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for sleeper, I'm going to say Michael Gallup.
All right.
Just because
he produces though.
Did we go to last year?
Well, last year Michael Gallup came back from that ACL and underperformed. I just feel like he'll be healthy this year and do just fine.
Fair.
Yeah, to me, when someone tears the ACL, there's like a 5-game period where you can tell they're kind of like babying it, and then they're like, "All right, I'm back."
Yeah, the explosivity's not there.
Yeah.
Let's move on from Dallas,
please.
All right, Denver Broncos.
Well,
Javonte, can I call him a sleeper now?
No,
everyone's on him. You know,
it's like he's like a buy low if he's healthy sort of guy. I will tell you, Greg Dulcich is the guy in Denver. If I'm buying anyone right now, that's who I'm buying. Being a Broncos fan, Sean Payton called him. What was the term he used for Dulcich?
Honky.
No, but close. Dulcich was like a utility guy or something. He nicknamed him
Swiss Army knife. What he called him?
I have to find it. You guys,
is he scrappy? Is he a gym rat?
The Joker role. And he said guys that he's used in the Joker role in the past have been Darren Sproles, Jimmy Graham. Guys that they like. He likes the skill set, but
he just wants to get the ball in his hands.
Yes. So Greg Dulcich is the guy that I would go all in on if I were going to trade for someone in Denver.
That tight end? Yep. How do you guys feel about Perrine I
was going to say
Samaje Perine?
He might actually be the sleeper in that situation because he's probably getting the ball the first, I don't know, what are we saying, 4 weeks comfortably? And then at that point, why would you give Williams too heavy of a workload if Perine's doing all right?
I think Perine's a great guy to get as your third running back in a redraft league. If you're strategizing in that, and I know this is Dynasty here, but you were look at the thing and people are like, well, I don't want to grab him. Williams is going to take over his job.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. Maybe. But I think for this season, he doesn't hold any long-term Dynasty value, but I think for this year, he's a solid own.
Agreed. All right, let's move on.
Yep. Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
I would say Cephas, but he likes to gamble.
Yeah. I would say Williams, but he also likes to gamble. You can't really call. You can't really call any of their. Oh my gosh, Amon St. Brown. You can't call him a sleeper anymore.
No, he's produced.
Right.
I'm gonna say David Montgomery
as a sleeper. There? Yeah, I like him a lot this year.
David Montgomery.
They let was it Williams walk?
Yep.
Yeah.
He had a great year there. I would have thought they would have just kept their guy in house, but when they let him walk and sign Montgomery, that tells me that
they got rid of Swift. They're like, let's change their whole backfield.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I don't think there's a bust on that team because the guys that I would say could be bust would be DeAndre Swift, and he's gone.
Yeah,
yeah. Let's move on from Detroit. No one likes to stay there too long.
That's very true. Green Bay Packers. This one's hard for me.
It is. You can't say love, can you?
I've got my bust. I 100% have my bust. Aaron Jones is my bust.
Really?
Big time. Yeah, Aaron Jones.
I can see it.
Aaron Jones lives off of Aaron Rodgers' checkdowns. He lives off that.
You don't think Love's going to check down a lot?
They did run a lot of screens to him last year, though, I will say.
They did. Quarterbacks have tendencies. And we don't know if Jordan Love has a tendency to check it down as a running back or not. I know they run a lot of screens, but still, last year he had 72 targets out of the backfield.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, he's not going to get back to that. I think, that's
no,
insane.
no, definitely not.
That's fair.
But I will say, I'm going to call him a bust just because I think everyone's riding high on Christian Watson.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they're riding high on him right now, and
he finished strong, but
I don't think he'll do what he did.
I'm with you there. Yeah,
my sleeper is Romeo Doubs.
Really,
I love Romeo Doubs. I'm not a Packers fan.
Oh, he's a dog. He's a dog.
I love Romeo Doubs. I think Romeo Doubs has. This is a horrible comparison, but I think he has the Devontae Adams sort of skill set. I think he's a route running technician.
Yeah,
I really like him. I would buy Romeo Doubs.
I will say his jump ball too. It reminded me of Des Bryant in his prime.
Yeah.
He was just snatching balls over people. I was like, okay. And if I could pick a bust, it'd be David Bakhtiari. But
yeah. I mean,
I will choose the entire tight end position as my bust.
Yeah, I'll take the over under on Bakhtiari catching passes. All right, let's move on from Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yep. Houston Texans.
How can you? I love this. I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, the Texans are rebuilding. And I was like, they've never been built.
Right, not rebuilding.
You can't rebuild if you've never been built. So
They're just pouring cement to haul over the trailer and park it on top of.
Everyone's a sleeper in Houston. We have no idea what the quarterback play is.
I knew the Texans were going to continue to be shit when they paid Dalton Schultz. So
I know. Yeah, he's probably a bust.
He literally runs so slow that I thought I feel like the defenders were surprised how slow he was.
Yeah.
They're all out of position because he shouldn't be back that far.
They're like, wait a second, you should have been over here by now.
You took the wrong angle.
So I would argue that the Texans right now could be, unless we find someone further through this list, that is the cornucopia of shit at wide receiver.
Unless CJ Stroud goes nuts.
Yeah. Well,
I think Houston is our new cornucopia of shit for wide receivers. Yeah.
Robert Woods, Nico Collins, and John Michie.
Oof. Robert Woods is 31 coming off an injury.
Yeah.
He's already won a Super Bowl. He's like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, he don't care.
3 has cancer. I mean,
yeah, it's bad news.
It's not not an optimal situation.
Yeah, no, and Dameon Pierce, Dameon Pierce can't get better than last year. They brought in Devin Singletary.
That's true. They've really capped his value.
I mean, Pierce just got so many carries.
He did, and they still shared it too. If you look, they shared a lot still.
Yeah. So I'm going to say the entire Texans offense is a bust and a sleeper all at the same time, because if they do anything, we're going to be shocked.
Yeah.
True.
Well, there's bound to be one guy who outperforms, but yeah, I would stay away from that at all costs.
Yep. If you had to pick one guy off that entire roster as your sleeper, who would
Schultz? I'd go with Schultz.
I go Nico.
I would honestly probably Schultz, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
just because it's like maybe they're just dunk it down to him a lot. Maybe.
Yeah. And I think the running backs are going to split enough that it's going to cap both of them.
Actually, I'll change it. I'll say Pierce. I'd take Pierce over anyone else there.
Yeah. So we can all agree that we can't agree that they're probably all going to suck.
We can all agree that Houston sucks and stay out of there.
Yeah, let's move on to another state.
Indianapolis Colts.
Shouldn't it be the Indianapolis Indianans, like the Houston Texans?
Shouldn't it be some with race cars? Don't they?
That name, by the way, Houston Texans drives me nuts. If you put that on any other franchise name, you sound ridiculous.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true.
It's the Nashville Tennesseans.
The Georgians?
Yeah. All right. The Indianapolis Colts, I mean...
I'm going to say I'm Isaiah Kenzie then.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to say Alec Pierce.
He's great too. I like him too.
I'm going to go with the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, that... I'll tell you.
He looks crazy, but I don't know if his passing's that great.
Anthony Richardson is the hyped guy right now.
Right.
If you want to go out and say what rookie that got drafted is hyped, Anthony Richardson is getting hyped.
Yeah.
Big time.
They have Megatron playing fucking QB. That's why.
No, it's Trey Lance all over again. So, I mean,
but Anderson actually performed. Like in college.
Yeah, that's true. There wasn't lot of tape on Lance. But yeah, if he goes in and has 2 bad games, it's going to be, he's terrible. Get him out of there. So it's...
I think we have our pattern, though, here. When you've got rookie quarterbacks, you can't really judge your wide receivers.
Anything. Yeah.
No, you can't.
So the only, I guess we would say, Anthony Richardson, if he's a sleeper, I love the value of these wide receivers. If he was a bust, these guys are worthless. So...
Yeah, it's Fields.
But
Fields
also in my head, when I think of, maybe he won't learn very quick, and I immediately think of dump downs. Like slot, tight end, running back. Like they might get the reception.
A little Jonathan Taylor resurgence. Yeah. Maybe a little Mo Alley Cox.
Yeah, I do like some Mo Alley Cox.
Cox?
It is.
What's so big about Cox? I hate Cox. I wouldn't touch Cox with a 10-inch pole.
Hey, I got a great Cox joke for you guys.
Oh, please.
Classic. Recently, my dick was in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Jeez, what for?
Well, then the librarian told me to put it away.
I haven't heard a good 5th grade joke in a while.
Well done. That's well done.
Let's move.
terrific.
Let's move on from Indianapolis.
But please.
Is it Jacksonville?
It is.
Yeah.
You know what that means? When we go to Jacksonville, there's a 30-second timer. So let's get it out, fellas.
Yep. I've got no one. The team is pretty much the same. If anyone, Kelvin Ridley.
I'm going to go with ETN as a bust as he loses touch share.
Yeah.
I think Trevor Lawrence is going to dominate this year. He's going to have a great year. It's going to be his breakout season.
All right.
Wow.
And we're done.
We did it in under 30. That's impressive.
Let's move on.
Kansas City's next. And can there really be like a standout there? Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's the same mishmash at wide receiver. I'm going to go back to the guy I keep pointing to just on a sleeper owned share alone. Justin Ross has gone from like a 53% owned share. He's now above 70 and has jumped over MVS in owned share on sleeper. So whether or not he performs, and I'm not sure that he will, the hype is there. So that's my guy.
Yeah. I'm going to go the guy that I've been hearing a lot of stuff on, Kadarius Toney. As my sleeper.
Yeah.
I will agree with that. That guy
much
is
cleaner path.
That guy is awesome.
Yep. And then, of course, I'll eat my words. Last year I said Travis Kelce's going to be a bust, but I can't say that anymore. He's not going to be.
It's got to happen one day, though. It's got to happen.
It does.
I'll be right eventually.
But I just don't
15 years on Tom Brady. I can wait you out.
I think he's still good next year.
Yep, he doesn't seem to have lost any speed to me.
No.
He still seems the same.
Yep.
And I'll maybe throw Pacheco in there. I think he's gonna produce. Another guy I didn't believe in last year. Preseason hype. No, don't want him.
Pacheco feels like he could go the Jay Morant route. I don't know why.
The thing with the Chiefs though is it's like it seems like that guy's a great running back, but they still deal him.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I do like him, but my gut just tells me something weird's going to happen with that guy. I got no reason for it, but it's just going to be a weird thing that happens with him. I'll put it out there. Pacheco equals something weird. Like he's going to
get caught with his dick in a library book?
Yeah, like he's going to sleep with like one of the assistant coaches' wife or something like that. It's just going to get ugly.
That's standard. That happens every year.
that's true. Let's move on from KC.
Los Angeles Chargers.
That's interesting to me.
It is.
I'm gonna say. Let me look at his name.
Maybe the rookie.
It's one of the wide receivers. I can't think of him right now.
Palmer?
Josh Palmer. Palmer up for me.
Okay.
Up.
I'm gonna go. What's the running back they drafted last year?
Spiller.
Yeah,
that was my other. That would be my second.
I'm gonna go Spiller just because of the weird little Austin Eckler's not going to play for the Chargers short-term dispute that they're realizing that this is probably his last year and they're going to want to see what they have in Spiller.
I have the same thing with Spiller as I have with Kelsey. It's like it's got to happen one year. He can't have a good year every year.
Yeah. 100%. Oh, I think we can go to the other LA.
Let's do that.
Yeah, Rams.
I like Cam Akers fall into the sleeper and bust category all at the same time.
I think so.
That's a weird deal.
What's your thought? Which way is he going to go?
I'll tell you by virtue of the fact that I drafted his rookie counterpart in I believe 50% of my dynasties. If you got him, good for you. You're not trading him to me. I'm not giving you nothing. Good luck. That's all I can say about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say Cam Akers falls, and I would say Tutu Atwell goes up.
Based on name alone.
That guy's good. I watched a lot of his stuff. Is pretty good.
Anytime a Tutu goes up, it's a good time.
So where are we on Stafford? You think he's going to rebound here?
Yeah.
I say he goes down. Stetson Bennett comes in and wins the championship.
God.
No, but I don't know. Maybe mediocre.
I'm down to 25% own share in him, and I would be down to 0 if I could get even a bag of unripe plums.
Yeah, I'm gonna equate and this is just from a fantasy football standpoint, I'm going to put Stafford in the Aaron Rodgers of last year category.
Oh.
Where it's like, the talent's there, it's good, but he's probably going to end up being like a top 15 to 20 fantasy quarterback.
I'm just more worried about the injury. Like, does he come back?
That's what I was worried about more.
Now he's got his ring. Does he really push for it? I mean,
all the things you're saying is, I know he got injured, but all the things you're saying is similar to Aaron Rodgers.
True.
Like, he's got Cooper Kupp. That helps tremendously. I think we would all say if Cooper Kupp wasn't there, we probably wouldn't be talking about Stafford in any sense.
True.
Okay.
Who are we moving on to?
Looks like it's the Miami Dolphins. I watch them every weekend with my brother. I'm pretty into them, as you can see by my draft picks. And but if I had to pick a sleeper, it'd be Devin Akane.
Okay.
Running back. Even though they have a bunch of running backs, that guy is good.
Yeah, that's a situation where if one of those guys differentiates himself from the pack, there is potential for a big volume jump. But I just think that they're pigeonholed by the coach there. I think he's going to go committee regardless if somebody's producing.
But the thing is they, even if they went to like committee last year, like if you had one of or two of like the three guys, they were worth having.
I have a deep sleeper on Miami. It's a deep sleeper. Mike White.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind. So I will tell you, I'm about to go into this crazy league. That's a 24-team Dynasty league, first year draft. So I have Mike White like on my board as the guy that I'm targeting as my most liked backup quarterback in the NFL, because I like Tua. But the dude is one hit away from his season being done.
That makes sense. No, that makes sense. He's not playing a full season. That's a great pick, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a big Mike White fan.
But did you forget about Skylar Thompson's reign?
No, I completely remembered that.
No, but honestly, Mostert and Wilson, for the running back position, most of the time they go down.
Yeah, yep.
That Ahmed and Arcane, Gaskin's, he's kind of fallen down, but he's performed too, though. He has.
Yep. No, that's a good call.
All of the running backs have potential to be worth having.
Yep. And of course, it goes without saying. You got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and we found out that the tight end position really means nothing.
Coach don't like them. They're for blocking and looking at, and that's all.
Yep. The guy's name is Durham Smythe.
Yeah, sounds like a blocker. Was he out of Iowa?
Probably.
I made that up. So
Smythe is.
But I like your Mike White pick. I do like that.
I think he's got potential. Smythe is out of Notre Dame.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And I will say, Braxton Berrios is there, but he only does kick return, punt return. But if maybe Tyreek or Waddle gets hurt, I guarantee he jumps right into slot.
Yeah. Berrios. Sounds like a breakfast cereal.
It does. That sounds delicious.
Need more fiber? Have some Braxton Berrios.
Now with raisins. Eat 2 bowls, you fat son of a bitch. You can do it with Braxton Berrios. It's high in fiber, low in sugar. So eat up, you fat fuck.
You just channeled an angry Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, well, he's been dead for nigh on 25 years, so he's probably pretty pissed that they called him up to read an ad.
We can move on from Miami.
Yes.
All right, Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh, I've got my sleeper. Matt Madison.
Yeah, that's what I would say. And I've had him on my bench for so long, waiting for Cook to get hurt.
Yeah.
It's my time.
I think wow, did we just do Minnesota in 7 seconds?
Yeah.
Wait, who else is their wide receivers though?
KJ Osborne, Jalen Rieger.
KJ Osborne, I really like.
But they drafted Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. I mean,
gonna push him to the slot. So Addison will take, he'll be outside with Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to see. I mean, we saw it with Adam Thielen a little bit, but it's tough to see a world that the number 2, number 3 wide receiver in Minnesota are not. Obviously, Jefferson's going to take a lot of attention, and they're going to have games, but they're never. You can never be the one.
Right.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. And also, if you think about it, I always think about what if their one gets hurt. Like, where does the receptions go there? You got to think about that, too, a lot. And Minnesota has great value in that.
Well, the number 2 wide receiver is T.J. Hawkinson in that offense.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hands down. Like that. So you're talking about...
But if you look at his stat, like, he only had, like, 1 or 2 good games there. Maybe.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I had him last year. He had, like, 2 big games, and then besides that, he didn't do that well.
Well, I must just be remembering those 2 big games.
He had one where he had like 40 points, which was insane. Yeah. But besides that, he didn't go nuts.
Oh, you're correct. I'm looking. He ended the season kind of on a.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, kind of like
and
just north of a queef.
And if you look at KJ Osborne, he had like 8 touchdowns and like 900 yards, which is solid.
Yeah,
because he's basically gonna maintain that same position where he put those numbers up.
Yeah.
So I mean, even though he theoretically doesn't get that bump up in the lineup, he's shown he can produce there, and
2 years in a row, also, targets, which is big.
Are you willing then to put T.J. Hawkinson down as a bust for you?
No, because I think they throw enough to where he will have big games.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on from that purpley city.
New England Patriots.
New England Patriots.
Everybody?
I don't want to.
I don't want none of them. Yeah, let's leave.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I don't like any of them.
Let's get out of here. If you're owning a bunch of Patriots for dynasty fantasy purposes,
this one should be interesting. Saints. The Saints.
Okay.
It's weird with that whole Jimmy Garoppolo situation.
Yeah, well, wait. Derek Carr?
Derek Carr, my bad. Sorry.
I was like,
I was thinking of the Raiders, my bad.
The Saints, geez. My bust is Alvin Kamara.
Fair.
Oh,
yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And I'm not big enough on anybody else to call him. I mean, I guess maybe Carr. I think technically he'll be undervalued. You'll probably be able to get him around quarterback 24, and you'll probably pay closer to 12 or 15. But
yeah,
I mean, that's
I think Traquan Smith will do better than people expect.
Yeah. I don't think outside of Olave, I'm
not big on anybody, yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy, but that's not a sleeper. He's just solid.
Yeah, Olave's got too much juice now.
Let's get out of New Orleans.
Indeed.
Yep. Right into the Giants, which made a lot of big moves.
It did make a lot of big moves.
I like the rookie Hyatt. He's been he was typically undervalued in dynasty drafts I saw. I was able to snag him late in one and almost got him in 2 more way later than I should have had a shot to get him. So he really just comes into basically number 1 target territory. Mm-hmm. So I'm willing to gamble on that.
They traded for Darren Waller.
Mm-hmm.
So they have him now. But it's like, how long does he have,
I still like their backup. I mean, Bellinger's coming into his 2nd year.
I like Sterling Shepard, Paris Campbell, and Darius Slayton, but it's like, can they stay healthy? That's all of their problems.
Any of them.
That's all of their problem.
I'm going to go a totally different route on the sleeper. I'm going to go Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh.
Okay.
Just because.
He is their 4th, actually.
Right, and he's the first wide receiver that the new head coaching staff drafted. He was a rookie. I just believe that Daniel Jones, they're going to want to have him do shorter passes. I just like them creating an opportunity for Wan'Dale Robinson.
Okay. I like Jay and Hyatt. He's I took him in first round in my dynasty.
Ooh.
First,
Ooh.
wow.
Hyatt is my number one guy. I watched tape on all the wide receivers. He looked light years ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. I was able to get him way later. I might
have taken him in second. I might have taken him.
I was going to say, if you drafted him up there, that's probably more in line with his talent. But like I said, I liked him from the standpoint.
I draft off talent every year.
He was slipping.
Ron and I both did a podcast that we liked Hyatt as well. So I think it's a great choice. Let's move on from the Giants.
Alrighty. Next is New York Jets. Let's go bust Aaron Rodgers right off the bat.
Yeah. I mean, the guy, I don't think he's a sleeper anymore. Obviously, Garrett Wilson is going to be solid with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think there's anyone here to talk about. I think they all are elevated a little bit by Aaron Rodgers. You got a sleeper or a bust?
But he's always been communist with his ball distribution. Yeah. So I think everyone gets a bump. Like you said, Wilson, I think, is the consensus guy that everybody's taking a shot at.
I'm gonna bump up Mecole Hardman as a deep ball guy.
Okay.
All right. Take Mecole.
As is, I don't think he really throws to the tight end. So
Yeah.
So
Conklin down. Yeah.
Move on from that.
Let's move on.
The Oakland Raiders, and that's what I was talking about, the Jimmy Garoppolo situation.
Oakland Raiders.
That's weird.
Or it says Oakland on here. Yeah, Las Vegas.
Wow, what fucking website are you on here?
It's still the St. Louis Rams to me too,
Wow. You're on a site that doesn't know the alphabet nor the location of the teams.
No, this is like a really old site. They just had them in somewhat alphabetical order.
It still threw me when you put the Chargers in LA. I was like, wait, what? That's wrong.
Well, I don't. This is a similar situation. I say everyone on this team's a bust compared to what they did last year. I don't think there's any way that Josh Jacobs can be as good. I don't think he'll be terrible. I don't think there's any way Devontae Adams can be as good.
I agree.
There's no way that the Austin Hooper OJ Howard combo does anything as good as Darren Waller. And even if Jimmy Garoppolo's hurt, Brian Hoyer's the quarterback. So
Jimmy Garoppolo plays to the best of his abilities. What are you talking about there?
Yeah.
Ceiling ain't real high.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just
he's a fucking downgrade from Carr. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all.
No, he definitely is. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. And then when you had to eat most of the Carr money, it's like you didn't even save cash to do this. And 100%. Now they might even cut him if he doesn't pass a physical.
Yeah.
And it's like, where do you think they go from there? They definitely don't run Hoyer.
No.
They have to.
Yeah, they're in trouble.
It's going to be Cam Newton.
Yeah, they're going to have to pick someone up. They're in trouble.
They're in deep trouble.
They made a calculated risk on moving on from Derek Carr, and it was, in my opinion, the wrong move.
Not only that, stupid. It's like how pissed is Adams about that? He came there for him.
Exactly. Yeah. Now you've got a wide receiver on the wrong side of 30, and you're going to throw a Jimmy Garoppolo at him?
Adams is ripe for a Week 6 trade to a contender.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. In fact,
to New Orleans.
Yeah. I say contender.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah. They need just that one more piece to get him over the hump.
And then they actually make it. It's like, man.
Garrett Wilson goes down, and they trade him to the Jets.
Oh, my God, I'd be furious. They had Cobb, Lazard, and him. That's basically the Packers.
Well, yeah, that's what's already happening.
That's so ridiculous.
Let's move on from
any help.
Let's move on from Oakland.
It is Oakland, right? Philadelphia.
I mean, everyone's returning. The backfield is where you're questioning our sleeper and bust.
I have Swift, so I'm going to say he's going to do great.
My sleeper is Rashad Penny.
Rashad Penny's great too. I didn't even realize he was there. That kind of makes Swift down for me.
Yeah. Penny, when healthy, has a ridiculous yards per carry.
Oh yeah, I agree. Penny's a great running back. Always been underrated.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about their line this year, so I'm going to kind of downgrade everybody.
Okay. Fair.
I don't know. I
Their
just think
line was so dominant last year.
Mm-hmm.
Hurts is just, he's so good, in my opinion. He's just so good.
All the questions are on the team around the running back, though. There's, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts, Dallas Goedert. Those guys all are in line to have the same.
Those are all dogs.
Solid.
Yeah.
All dogs.
So your question is it going to be Swift or Penny, or are neither going to be good? Let's move on from Philly.
It would be Pittsburgh Steelers.
This is interesting.
I'm gonna go all in on Pickett here.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. The guy was drafted last year because he was more pro ready. He's never looked. What's the word I'm looking for? He's never looked scared out there. Nothing's been too big for him.
Like he's supposed to be there for sure.
Him in his third game looked far more poised and more in control than Mason Rudolph after every fucking opportunity he's gotten. Like, he just looks calm. I'm all about it.
I'm going to agree with that. And I don't really question Mike Tomlin. I don't.
Yeah.
He seems to always make the right choice.
Yeah.
So, and
Splash.
I think maybe Najee Harris actually has a lot more yards per carry this year. They went heavy on offensive line. I think they're gonna go for it.
I'm gonna go deep sleeper here. Kelvin Austin, the third, drafted last year, didn't play at all. He is speed.
He's a slot.
Slot, and this team could use speed.
And Patrick Peterson has been talking him up.
And Allen Robinson, he's older. I bet they give him like 50-50 on snaps.
He is the perfect addition there. And I'm going to throw a name at you, Jonah. And you had better tip your fucking cap. You know who he's going to be this year? Jericho Cotchery.
Ooh, you Cotcheried me.
I did.
Well done.
Yeah. That's what he's going to be. He's going to be a Jericho Cotchery, just perfect veteran. I bet he's got 750 yards, six to seven touchdowns. He's just going to produce quietly and under the radar. Perfect
Jericho
for that.
Cotchery, never heard of that. He sounds like a dude they found in the mountains, and they're like, "Hey, you seem like you could be pretty good at this football game."
Sounds like a fucking computer generated character from Madden.
Yeah, and he's bald and 7 foot for some reason.
Jericho Cotchery out of Manitoba.
Two things to know about Ron. He has undying love for tight ends and Allen Robinson.
That's true.
Yeah. Unhealthy.
You complete me, Allen Robinson.
I
traded him in my 10-man
Don't
last
forget
year.
Maurice Jones-Drew either.
That's true.
That's the all-timer.
Yeah.
No, I traded him in my 10-man last year, got a second-round pick out of him, and then when the draft wrapped up, I picked him back up.
Nice. Well done.
We're going to call it a win.
Next one is San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, I got a guy I love. Brock Purdy. I am a Brock Purdy fan.
Me too.
The report out today was that they're expecting him back week 1.
Mm-hmm.
So the players think he will be the week 1 starter.
I can see a crazy scenario that if Brock Purdy looks healthy and good, that Trey Lance could end up with the Raiders.
That is a Davis type move.
They were talking about that. I did hear about that.
Now, how about this scenario? How about the Raiders have the Jimmy Garoppolo foot issue? They cut him to save money. They trade for Trey Lance, and the 49ers go and sign Jimmy Garoppolo to be Brock Purdy's backup.
Do you want to hear something about Trey Lance that I heard the other day, though? That really blew my mind. Is since 2016, he has 450 pass attempts. Total.
Wow.
Yeah, they should definitely get him in Las Vegas.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's 2 seasons of injury-riddled Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
He gets more attempts.
And I know Ayuk's great, but I just have a feeling he's going to be really good this year.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing I love about Brock Purdy. If you're a George Kittle owner, Brock Purdy just brought George Kittle to life.
He did.
Yeah,
unquestionably.
Like he's great. Like I love Brock. I don't think anything else changes on that team.
I think a fault of Kittle's is that he's totally amazing at blocking.
Yes.
So that's like almost a fault.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I agree, but the worst player to ever for George Kittle is Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
If you look over the last 4 years, as soon as Jimmy Garoppolo's out, even if it's Nick Mullins, George Kittle's stats go up. It's insane.
It's like, how can you be a veteran quarterback and not fucking realize that I should throw it to that guy?
I firmly believe if you gave me a year to throw PA passes at the 49ers, I could probably do it. Like they set up their offense to make it easy on their quarterback.
100%.
It's like,
which is why they wanted Lance. All he has to do is complete high percentage passes, and if things break down, he runs.
Yep. Well, let's move on from San Fran. I think it's the same guys. Pretty healthy, looks pretty great.
Yep. Seattle Seahawks, and right away, Geno's gonna be top 5 QB.
Boom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He's got a year of play under his belt now. I think.
Look at his wide receivers too.
Yeah, and they got him more help. And they got him more help in the backfield too.
And I feel like he's playing with like vengeance, you know.
And the reason they're able to do that and put all these extra emphasis on the offense is they're not paying him a shitload of money by NFL starters standards.
Y'all made me choke on my whiskey.
Good.
I got the Seahawks as completely falling apart this year.
All right.
Okay. I like it. That's fine.
the kind of dichotomy you can only find on the Dynasty Road Trip podcast.
I got this scenario. If Geno Smith was just a 1 year weird fluke flash in the pan sort of scenario,
It's highly possible, yeah.
That team has nothing behind him. I mean, like everyone was talking about how they were going to draft. Do you know if Geno Smith
they got Drew
Lock? Yeah, exactly. Like,
that dude's a dog.
Yeah, he is. Yes. Like I just in a weird world, I just see Seattle like imploding this year. I have no reason for it. Again, just a gut feel, but all of a sudden Geno Smith is like not phenomenal. And I could see that team just collapsing on itself. I could see DK Metcalf turning into just a bitch to deal with on the field. I can see Tyler Lockett hitting the age wall real quickly.
Lockett's the only one I worry about from the age standpoint. But like I said, they reinvested.
He's only 30.
Yeah.
He's a guy, he's like Cooks. You could just call him
when I found out he said he'd never have sex until he got married, I'm like, that's my guy. He's not distracted by women. He's not distracted by women.
Legs ain't tired.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I can.
Doesn't have that weird cramp in his neck.
They also drafted that Jackson Smith kid.
Yeah, I mean,
it's pretty good.
The guy whose name we won't attempt yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Okay, I see that now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's scary,
Jackson,
man.
Yeah, we don't say that name.
Not yet. Until I hear somebody else say it.
JSN. Looking good.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
But
we'll call him Jason.
I will say Kenneth Walker looks to be in a good spot to get a lot of carries. So
they drafted another running back.
Yeah, they always have two, though. They always have two.
Right.
Yes. Correct.
But most of the time, it's worth having both of them for Seahawks-wise.
Because one is good and then the other one gets hurt.
Yeah, most of the time.
Then the other one is good. So you're picking your poison on who stays healthy. The Seattle could be fine. My gut I'm picking. If I were to pick a team that record goes the other direction from last year, I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's the Eagles.
Oh,
yeah. I'm looking for regression.
All right. Yeah.
Can I go the other way and say the Broncos do decent?
You certainly can.
I'm not saying amazing, but decent.
Yeah. No. I will say this: if it took this much heartache and pain to get a real coach like Sean Payton in the door, then I am thrilled. He's a real coach.
Yeah, he is.
We've
He's a
had
real coach.
Just crap for too long.
All right,
let's move on.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm going to start with my Rashad White.
Yeah,
That dude is good.
Jeez, I'm gonna say Baker Mayfield.
I was just gonna say I'm half drunk and I can't even bring myself to say it jokingly, but
No.
you're going there. Okay,
I like it though. I've liked
I
Baker.
do.
Yeah.
All right.
To me, he's gotten fucked over always. Like you start 6-0, and then your
Agree.
team turns on you right away. You're like, okay, it's like you're already looking at another guy. You didn't even give him a chance.
And the thing I always like to point to is if you look at his value and Deshaun Watson's going into that season, they're neck and neck. And then Baker Mayfield guts it out and plays injured the whole year.
I was going to say
Deshaun Watson misses a year under allegations, and his value jumps.
I swear to God, the week he like tore his shoulder or whatever, they're like, all right, they're going to have to play run safe. The next week, he threw like 53 attempts.
Yeah.
It was insanely stupid.
I'm like, why? Why?
The nice thing for Baker is he's finally in a spot where there's not a lot of pressure. I mean, it's not like he's taking over for the best quarterback in NFL history.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
true.
wait.
Tom Brady, that dude sucks.
Yeah, it's a lateral step for Tampa.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm in agreement. Running back.
Yeah.
For sure. Running back, yep.
Let's move on.
This one should be interesting. Tennessee Titans.
I mean,
Burks. We just got to stick with it.
Yeah. Burks.
You're going Burks?
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody's poised to outproduce last year, I said, I think. Yeah.
I mean, we've used Treylon Burks as a great example of a second-year player who could explode. I actually have a guy I like more than Burks on this team.
Oh.
And actually, I think I might have stated this on the podcast.
Is it Kyle Phillips?
No, but I see Kyle Phillips. I see you, Kyle Phillips.
I see you.
I see you, Kyle Phillips. I see you, little Beasley sort of fella. I see you. No, I'm gonna go Chigizima Ukwakwano at the tight end position, and I am willing to put a stake in the ground. Guaranteed top 10 tight end this year. Guaranteed.
Oh, dude. I didn't even realize that. That guy has been talked up so much. He has to be decent.
Yes.
I was going to say, I don't trust any tight ends around Tannehill because he doesn't overly utilize them. But I guess
it doesn't matter. Will Levis will be in by week 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just a huge fan of that guy.
Okay.
He was a rookie last year. So check this out. You know how long it takes for a tight end to develop, right?
Yes, 3 to 9 years.
Well, he had 46 targets, 32 catches, and 3 touchdowns and 450 yards as a rookie. And
I like it.
Keep in mind that 3 of those games were Malik Willis, who set the NFL record for 3 consecutive games without passing for 100 yards.
Wow.
Was that his fault or was that play calling?
That's Malik Willis's fault.
How many attempts did he have, though? That's my question.
Are you defending Malik Willis?
No, I'm defending play calling because I feel like stats, they don't show like the full picture. What I mean?
Let's bring up some Malik Willis stats. First of all, the quarterback rating last year was 42.8.
Oh.
Ooh, that's bad.
He was 30.
I just want to know how many attempts he had though that game.
He had 61 attempts across 8 games. I'll have to bring up a game log. We'll look at this little chunk here that he started.
Oh, I already see it. That's horrible. Oh God.
Yeah.
He had 23 attempts and didn't get 100 yards.
Yeah. And then they're like, maybe he shouldn't pass. And they see that then he had 4 attempts and 4 attempts. And they're like, no, you know what? That's on us. Let's give him 16 attempts. And he completed 31% of his passes on 16 attempts.
Yeah.
That is half of a Mark Sanchez completion ratio.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, let's get out of Tennessee.
Yeah. So get out of there quick.
But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Like sometimes stats show the wrong picture a lot of times.
True. Unfortunately for him, there's no good
video
pictures.
backs it up.
Yeah, that's
And
awful.
this is me. This is the website saying this, not me. The Washington Redskins. That's the last one.
What are you?
He got a website from 1987.
Okay,
Yeah, I dug real deep in Google.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
you
guess.
see that button that says update in the right hand corner of your browser?
Well, the problem with me
that.
is this company probably paid Google how much money to be the top link. That's not my fault. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just click what was there. Shit.
All right. Well,
Delightful.
I do have a guy I really like for the Washington. That was 2 names ago.
Wow, it was.
Yeah, it's not
The
one.
funny
name
part
ago.
is this website was updated last week. No, I'm joking.
I really like Sam Howell.
Sam
Yeah.
Howell.
I've been seeing some buzz on him. I saw him get picked up in one of my dynasties
Yep.
not a week ago, and in another one, he's still practice squad protected. So I believe he's 50% owned across
Yep.
my 4 dynasties.
You could, geez, I'll tell you what. As you guys are talking, I'm going to try to find something on him because I remember.
I will say I like Curtis Samuel and John Dodson. I do.
Yeah.
I like both of them. And if Brian Robinson can stay healthy, he'll probably put up good numbers.
Yeah.
And a great backup. Gibson's a good backup too.
Yeah. I've heard Gibson is. So there's a guy that you can buy real low.
Yeah, he's going to be real low, and
Yeah.
and if Robinson gets hurt, he's number 1 instantly. Like
People hate him.
who?
Gibson.
Oh
If-
yeah, after
if you
last
don't-
year, I hated him
Yeah.
because he had a great year, and then you got him, and he did nothing.
Right. I mean, he got beat up by a guy who got shot.
Yeah.
Literally, like, you're like, well, at least he kept his job. Certainly, he won't get beat up by the guy who got shot in the knee. Like, well, not
Honestly, that guy's just a dog for even coming back that quick.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's probably just a flesh wound anyway, you know?
Yeah.
'Tis a flesh wound.
Airsoft.
Yeah, probably. Pellet gun, who knows?
Well, we've made it through.
We did it.
You know,
You guys don't have any you don't like Dotson or Samuel Curtis? Or Curtis Samuel, my bad.
no, and I'll tell you why I like Sam Howell. Maybe that will make sense. I like Sam Howell because he's going to surprise the NFL on how well he runs.
Oh.
Okay. Actually, I've watched him like do some scrambles. He does look pretty good.
Yeah. If you, well, you know, I guess I can send a link for you guys to watch in the thing, but
And another thing to note is a lot of the wide
share
receivers
screen
don't
on.
lose. A lot of the wide receivers don't lose if Howell gets hurt because Brissett's there, and he'll go even at least and throw at least.
Well, we're counting down here. Derek, thanks for joining us on the ride, man.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was a long time. That was a long one, but I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, the road trips are always fun. It's nice having a third perspective on it. Every time I do a road trip, I think when you go team by team, I really like that thing. You're like, oh yeah, that guy, guys you totally forgot about.
Yep.
When you just do a list of sleepers or bust, you always are like, oh man, you get done with the thing. You're like, I wish I would have talked about this guy, but usually
It's very
pretty fine
easy to
color.
get lost in that too.
Yep.
Like just to say the obvious people.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it's like is it really sleeper or bust when you pick the obvious guy and then
Right.
it's not.
Right. The dude that everybody's already picking.
We got 2 minutes left before it's done here. Real quick, if you can, give me your personal top sleeper and top bust, if it comes to mind.
Oh, wow.
My top sleepers turn up on Dallas Cowboys. I swear he is. That
Okay.
dude is amazing. He reminds me of Tyreek Hill.
All right. Deep sleeper.
Yeah, like you said, when I don't go through team by team, it's tough.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I could probably find an easier one, but I
Yeah.
really like that guy. I like him.
I guess I'll keep my hometown guy. I'm gonna go Greg Dulcich.
Okay.
I really think has potential to fill like a Jimmy Graham sort of role in Denver.
Ron can't think of one.
I was gonna say I'm in the same boat where I don't want to do something too obvious, but I think based on touches alone and lack of a competition, I'm gonna go with Rashad White.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Solid.
he's penciled in for touches. There's theoretically nobody behind
I mean, to me, yeah, he probably will perform. More likely to perform than most other people, for sure.
Sweet. Well, all right, Derek, we've hit the border, so you need to hop back in the trunk.
All right. All right. I had to check myself for weed for a second. I ain't got none. All right. I'm good.
All right. Good time, fellas. We'll catch you soon.
All right.
Yep, see ya.
Sounds good.
Later.
Later.